day, a patient I hadn't seen for a while, I think he went into an HMO, calls me over at a coffee shop. Doc, is golf good exercise? I said, well, do you walk? He said, yeah, I walk and carry the bag. I said, well, that's great. He says, this doctor I have says I have to run. I mean, what is that about? So that doctor thinks running is better than, you know, golfing and pairing a golf. It's silly. So in terms of how people can build inner stability, how people can shield themselves from stress, it's all coaching, it's all art. So I'm John Horton. I've been practicing medicine for 40 years. Right now I'm in Westlake Village, and my partner Ed Hanslick and I just wrote a book with a fellow named Tim Galway, who's very famous, we're not, called The Inner Game of Stress. And the idea of the book is to share many, many years of seminars and learning that the three of us have done together to really change the conversation about stress.
Part of what the inner game teaches is how to step back and look at who we are and how to judge ourselves using these set of techniques and tools that really we kind of already understand anyway and always have.
The human body has what's called the stress system. It's a really wonderful system. And there's really 4 aspects to the book. One is that you can't adapt to chronic stress. We're not designed for it. The second is that you have a choice. No matter how bad things are outside, you have extraordinary inner resources. The third point is that the inner game, which Tim Galway has applied to sports, the inner game of tennis, many people felt that that changed their life, not just their tennis game. He has a model of learning and tools to engage you in an inner process of growth. And those tools are ways to move from one system to the other. So that you can build stability, shields, and wisdom. So that as you go through life, the inevitable changes and the difficulties and the losses don't destabilize you and push you into primitive reaction. Fight, flight, or freeze. So those reactions have an incredible value in terms of survival, safety, even keeping the family together, even keeping your ego intact. We don't operate the stress system. That system is automatic, evoked by fear, frustration, pain. But when you look at more human needs, like self-actualization and really becoming more fully yourself and more sophisticated relationships, that system is really not helpful and in fact will get in the way. Let's say the mental and emotional derivatives of fight, flight, freeze reactions, which is the mammalian brain, you might say. It's not the more evolved human brain. What are derivatives of fight? People sometimes spend their whole day in criticism and judgment. Flight reactions, all the ways we have of spacing out. Drugs, alcohol, just, okay, I'm out of here. And then there's freeze, when we just start shutting down like we can't handle it. Anxiety, depression, these things really are derivatives of becoming frozen. So the inner game can teach you how to move from one system, this stress system, this primitive system, to the wisdom system. So to move out of that system smoothly into more evolved things like understanding, clarity, empathy, sense of freedom, kindness, choice, knowing the story of your life, spontaneity, how about that one? Being able to be part of something but not be defined by it. These are wonderful human qualities that we admire in others. And when they show up in us, we really like them. They're not part of that fight, flight, freeze system.
My life has changed. My health is better. My relationships with my family are better because I've learned how to rethink and relive my life by making just some tiny little alterations, relying on skills and resources I already had. And that's made all the difference in my health and on my outlook.
If there's anything that I think people can learn from reading this book, and it's a very readable book, it's a very enjoyable book, and the tools are really good, is that we always have a choice, and that life favors us enjoying. Life favors us loving and appreciating our lives and not being in chronic fight, flight, freeze reactions. We don't do well in those reactions. So there's a lot that's built into us. There's an incredible bias of our life itself to move in directions where we can evolve differently. And we can really trust that.